Hello! I read 5 books this month. I'm gonna talk about them. I'm gonna give you my reviews and let you know what I thought if you care about that. And then afterwards, I'm gonna tell you what I think I wanna read in September. First book that I read was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Did I like her? Yes. Was she boring? Yes. This follows the Marsh Girl, also known as Kaya Clark, that's her real name, and her family, mostly her, but her family as well. Kaya is growing up in the late 1960s, early 1970s. She's known as the Marsh Girl because her family is kind of an elusive group and very seldom actually go into town. They're considered very dirty, poor people, so people don't really associate themselves with this family that much. So we're basically following 2 different timelines. There's a future timeline and there's I guess the present timeline, and then the past timeline, which is, the past timeline is where we follow Kaya's life and who she meets along the way, who she falls in love with, you know, all of her life things. And then in this present timeline, Kaya is actually on trial for the murder of one of the more well-known family's sons was murdered. She is on trial for that. Now, I think I'm half of the target audience for this book because I really enjoy the atmosphere and just the marsh in general. So that's why I gravitated towards this book. However, I felt like there was a lot of information that I didn't really need. It's like the story was interesting, but also not interesting at all. The whole murder trial aspect was the more interesting part to me, but I ended up giving it 2.5 stars because I just couldn't get past the fact that it was boring. I didn't really want to come back to it. I wasn't drawn to it. I found myself almost dreading to read it, so I don't think that's really a good sign. I'm pretty sure this is on the New York Times Top 100 list, isn't it? I think. I don't remember what number it is, but I understand why people would really like this book. I do. It is a good book. It's just not my kind of good book. Next, I read Heartstopper Volume 1 and Volume 2. I have these on loan from my library and I already can't wait to read the rest. These follow our 2 main characters, Nick and Charlie. The first book, it's just kind of like the beginning of their little love story. Charlie struggles a lot with his sexuality, and I think it's just done very well in that sense, in tackling those very heavy subjects. I just thought they were so cute. It's a graphic novel, so super quick to read, super fun, super easy, just like all around a good time. The only problem I have found with these 2 so far is that I am struggling connecting with the characters and really understanding them. And I think that's just because they are so short and so quick to read. I think I just need to get farther into the series before I can really make a decision on the characters and which ones I like and dislike and, you know, all of those fun things. I think there's like 5 books in this series, so I have 3 more left to really get to know these characters. We'll see. I'm definitely gonna read all of them just because they're fun and they're short and they're quick and I wanna know where it goes. I gave both of them 3 stars each because while I did really enjoy the reading experience, it's just kind of middle of the road for me right now. Next, I read The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 1 in the Mistborn trilogy. I am wanting to get into the whole Brandon Sanderson universe, or what do they call it? The Cosmere, I guess. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. However, I do think I took down 1 star because this is a lot of politics. It's very much world building and setting up this whole universe. The magic system is complex, but well thought out. Like once you get the magic system, it's a really awesome magic system. And I'm just so intrigued by these books and these characters. I already want to know what's happening to them in the next book. This book follows our main character, Vin, who she's like a street urchin. She is a thief. She works with these thieving crews. She's poor. There is a class of people called the Ska. They're like the working class. They work for, you know, more of the upper class people in this society, and they're not treated well at all. The Ska are basically slaves. This book follows our main characters while they're trying to create this Ska rebellion. Ven is a very, I wouldn't say she's shy, but she's very weathered. She doesn't trust a lot of people. She thinks that everyone is going to betray her eventually. It's like, I want to say more, but at the same time, I don't want to say more. You just have to read it. The magic system is so good. So it's based off of metals. So all of these different metals mean you can do different types of magic. This is the little key that it gives you. And how you use these metals is that you ingest them. Yeah, you eat them. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just so good. And my brother loves these books, so it was really fun to like be texting him when something happened and discussing it, giving him my theories and my ideas. It's just really good. And there's still so much that I don't know. This is like a 643 page book, and I still barely know anything. I barely know anything. That's crazy. Can't wait to get into the other ones of that. Seriously, can't wait. Just making sure those haven't caught anything on fire. Last book is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I gave this 4.5 stars. I loved this. Cozy fantasy. It's a warm hug, truly. The characters are so fun. The world is so atmospheric and cozy. And I just liked it. I just loved it. It took me a little bit to get into, but once I got into it, I was like, give me more, you know? Oh, there is another one coming out. Book 2 is coming out beginning of September. So literally in just like a week, the second book comes out. So I'll definitely be grabbing that one. This follows our main character, Linus Baker, who he works for this company called Dicamy. They are department in charge of magical youth. Basically, he's like a social worker. So he'll visit these orphanages where these magical youth live and just make sure that they're run appropriately and, you know, everything is in tip-top shape. He gets called into elite upper management's office, and they choose him to go on this basically super top secret mission of some sort. They're sending him to an orphanage that very few people know about, and he's not allowed to tell anyone. He's not allowed to say anything about where he's going, all of those things. It's very, very top secret. He knows that he's going to make sure that everything is running properly, and he knows that these children are special. He doesn't quite know why they're special or what makes them so special. He doesn't find that out literally until he gets there. But I don't want to say anything about it because I think that's part of the fun part of the story, is finding out Oh, and he's also going to investigate the head of the household, Arthur Parnassus, I believe. And he's going to, basically, elite management was like, we want to know what's going on with him and if he is fit to run the place. I definitely think out of the children, Lucy is my favorite. And Talia, Lucy and Talia. I think that they're definitely my favorite characters in the book. It was just really good. I can't wait to read the next one. 4.5 stars for sure. Cozy fantasy and like cozy sci-fi are, I think, my favorite genres. I always rate them so high. Like the Murderbot Diaries, I rated those high. A Psalm for the Wild Built, those are like my favorite books of all time. And I will continue to talk about them forever. Legends and Lattes, you know, all of those. Just love them. I love them all so much. So definitely need to find some more cozy fantasy to get into, especially in the fall. Such a fall genre. Well, that's all 5 books that I read this month. I'm gonna go pick out books that I wanna read in September. We're going for cozy fantasy, fall, just really getting you into the spirit of fall, you know? I want all of those nice feelings. So I'm gonna go pick those out now. Okay, will I be able to read all of these in the month of September? No, but this is what I have my eye on. The 2 books I am currently reading are The Color Purple and As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. These are heavy hitters. They are some heavy books. So I'm kind of swapping in between these and Bridgerton, The Duke and I, because I want something easy when I don't want something so heavy. What I'm not reading but I want to read is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is fall, but the cover is giving fall. And I read The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston and I didn't really love it, but I've heard so many rave reviews about this one. I just had to give it a shot. Then I have The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Again, I don't necessarily know if this is giving fall, but it is giving post-apocalyptic journey through the world. It's father and son, you know, trying to survive. And that just sounds so good. And I really want to read this one. This also made the New York Times Top 100 list. I am excited to dive into this one. Then we have a reread, The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I read this last year or 2 years ago or something, and I didn't really like it. However, I don't really think I gave it a chance. It is giving everything that I want it to give. It really is. It's witches, it's magic, it's romance, it's Halloween, it's all of the atmospheric things that you love. It gives Gilmore Girls, but a book and with magic. So I think I just need to give it another chance. I really do. Then we have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I've just been wanting to get into Grady Hendrix's work and more horror and thriller in general. I don't read a lot of that genre, but I do think that I would like it. And I thought this was a cool place to start just because it is that nostalgic like 80s horror film. And I really like those. I really like that atmosphere. And I mean, just look at this cover. It's like perfect. It's so cool. Next, we have A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. Does this give fall? Probably not, but orange is a Halloween color, so. And I just want to read this. I want to get into sci-fi. I really like the genre of sci-fi, and I feel like if I'm going to do that, I have to start with one of the classics. Then we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I really don't know much about this, and I hear a lot of mixed reviews on it. There are some people who are diehard for it and love this series and eat it up. And there are some people who are like, why do people love it so much? But I have heard it gives off a very gothic atmosphere, and I hear there's ghosts and murder and death. So it's definitely, my dog was stretching. It's definitely good for this time of year. And lastly, I have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Again, another sci-fi that people just rave about, and I want to know what the hype is about. And this is a trilogy, but I believe there are more, so a saga, I think. However, I've heard that it is heavy. It's a lot. And I've also heard it's like Hunger Games in space, which just sounds really fun. This is my September TBR. Will I get through them all? No. But I will give it a good chance. I will. That's all I read in August and all the books I want to read in September. So we'll see you next month. Bye.